to know enough. Too old to play the part, too cool for showing up. Too dumb to say what's smart, so I'm a substitute waiting for the game to start. But I ain't trying to get played like change your heart. And may I park and find me another ride. I'm letting Florence tell you how I feel inside.
So the genetic fallacy, what is it? What does it look like? I mean, you see this fallacy quite often on Facebook and random spots all over the internet, What the genetic fallacy basically is when someone determines whether or not something is true or false based on the origin of which the claim comes from. So, an example would be like if this guy named John, we'll say, John recommends a book to me and I don't like John. And then I say, well, I'm not reading that book because John says it's a good book. Well, whether or not the book is good or bad has no relevance to John. Just because John recommended it and I don't like John, it doesn't mean it's a good book. It doesn't mean it's a bad book. It bears no, there is no correlation between whether or not it's good or bad just because John recommended it. So the origin in which I heard about this book and if it's good doesn't mean anything because John told me it is. And you see this quite often on, forums and places where people can argue, Twitter and Facebook, etc. They'll say, well, you shouldn't believe, whatever opinion they throw out because it was told to me by whatever person that they don't like. Well, if I said, well, we should love our neighbors, as ourselves, and I think that's a good idea we should live by. Well, what if someone that you really didn't like said that? Does that mean it's untrue? Well, no. So yeah, that's the genetic fallacy in a nutshell. See ya.